We start at 5 with the live look outside. 9 News is calling for yet another weather impact alert today as temperatures stick around in the close to triple digits. That's only going to happen for the next couple of days, though. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Salinger. We've only got a few more days of that high heat in the 90s before some monsoon moisture moves its way in. But we're still dealing with those microbursts that we saw yesterday. 9 News viewer Nathan Booth caught this one on video out in Loveland within the last hour or so today on Sunday. You can see the extreme wind picking up dust there. This post says that this was all followed by a whole lot of rain. Want to check in now with weather impacting meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen. Corey, is there any cool down coming our way?
Yeah, we're going to get that cool down coming in probably just about 3 days. So on Wednesday, we may hit 90, but then after that, we're looking at several days below 90. Looking at live radar right here, you can actually see some of these microbursts happening. You can't see the microbursts themselves on radar, but you can see some signatures here that we're looking for. That one that went through Loveland right here. You can see the storm pop in the foothills and then completely evaporate over Loveland. Let me zoom in here a little bit closer. You can see that storm pop up there and then completely evaporate over Loveland. That was that microburst. We have more microburst potential out here to the east of Eaton here. This little storm cell right there is likely to evaporate and cause some 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. So not quite as strong as those ones we saw yesterday, but still pretty powerful. We're dropping those temperatures down right now. We're in the 90s here across most of the metro. A few dry microbursts down here in the South Metro may have dropped the temperature down there in Centennial just below 90 degrees. The current temperatures out there, it's currently 108 in Rocky Ford. Pueblo and Colorado Springs both broke daily records today. The heat will be back tomorrow, upper 90s across the Front Range, some 100-degree potential out to the east, but there's that little relief that Mark was talking about. We've got some cooler temperatures on the way. I'll address that coming up in the full forecast.
Like Corey was talking about, we've seen some wild weather in Colorado this weekend. In the town of Alt up north, one person was injured after a microburst on Saturday. It happened just before 3 at the Alt Fall Festival at Wagon Wheel Park. Police say they were injured by flying debris. The festival was suspended for the rest of the day due to damage from that microburst. And a microburst moved through Greeley yesterday afternoon, causing power lines to snap. A woman was killed after a fire started, and a man was critically injured after that microburst moved through. Our Angeline McCall spoke with witnesses who described seeing the flames as debris flew everywhere. Hey, Angeline.
Right, Mark. Witnesses say it was scary to be stuck in the car when this microburst occurred, and others saw 2 people in the grass after that fire began. Police say there was a nearby homeless encampment, a known location where people were staying or camping out. It was a normal drive through Greeley until the weather changed unexpectedly.
We weren't quite sure, where we were at that moment because it was all, dust was flying and debris was flying, and then you just see all the power lines start to go down. And
Erin Cedar was on the overpass near the Highway 34 and Highway 85 interchange. She says power lines fell, then flames.
Immediately we saw sparks hit the grass in the field right there and started the fire.
Greeley Fire, Greeley Police, and XL Energy are all investigating and haven't confirmed the cause, but dozens of people got caught in the microburst, including Robert Evans.
It hit hard. It caused me to jerk.
His wife was in a car ahead of him with their kids heading to a wedding. He says they saw a man trying to help a woman.
My kids described a man that was almost completely naked. He had some khaki-looking shorts on. He was trying to drag a body through the fire.
Police say there was a homeless encampment in the field that caught fire. Greeley PD confirmed a 45-year-old woman died Saturday and a 48-year-old man was airlifted out in critical condition.
Unfortunately, where these individuals were, that's where the fire struck. And with the brush being so long and tall, it just carried, and that wind downstroke fanned the flames of it, and it carried fast.
Evans says it would have been hard to escape this type of fast-moving fire.
With the hot air going through there that fast, you'll end up burning your lungs more than your skin right away. So trying to get through it that fast, and you're trying to drag somebody through it, they'll succumb to the fire rather quickly.
When crews arrived, they actually couldn't start fighting the fire right away, encountering delays due to live downed power lines. Robert told us that he got out of his car at one point and started directing traffic after calling 911 because people were trying to drive over some of those live wires. In the studio, Andrew McCall, 9 News.
Still a lot of unanswered questions, as well as what exactly for sure started that fire. But you can see on that screen behind you, those power lines look like they're snapped in half. Angeline, thank you. Meanwhile, in Utah, the State Patrol held a procession last night for the 2 helicopter pilots killed in a crash on Friday. Officers escorted their remains to the office of the medical examiner in Taylorsville, Utah. The National Interagency Fire Center confirmed the pilots were on contract with the U.S. Forest Service, but their names and ages have not yet been released. They were fighting the Widemouth 2 fire near Richfield, Utah, Friday morning when their helicopter crashed, igniting a small grass fire nearby. It took over a day for crews to get to the crash to recover the remains because the fires that were burning nearby, the FAA and NTSB are still investigating. Back here in Colorado, the 310 fire burning near the town of Parachute on the western slope is now 16% contained. It stayed at a little over 600 acres overnight. An update this morning said crews are making good progress on containment lines. And over near Ouray, the Rocky Mountain Complex Incident Management Team 2 took over command of the Gold Mountain fire again this morning. The fire is burning more than 39,000 acres and is now up to 90% containment. Some good news there. Crews expect to wrap up suppression repair activities along the northern perimeter over the next couple of days. And in Archuleta County, the Echo Canyon Reservoir State Wildlife Area reopened for boating access today after restrictions due to the Rio Blanco fire. They had closed the reservoir there to boating to allow crews to safely come and grab water from the reservoir. The fire is now nearly 80% contained and has burned more than 1,300 acres. Back here in the metro area, Denver police are investigating a deadly hit-and-run crash involving a motorcycle and another vehicle. It happened near Sheridan Boulevard and Hamden Avenue. Police, though, say that they're investigating this as a homicide because they believe that preliminary reports show that the driver intentionally hit the motorcyclist, causing that crash. The person on the motorcycle died. The driver of the car drove off, and their car was abandoned and found shortly afterwards. If you're heading up to the mountains this weekend, CDOT is warning you to keep an eye out for cyclists on the road. Starting tomorrow, a week-long bicycle tour of the state is kicking off. It'll take place between Crested Butte, Buena Vista, Salida, and Gunnison. About 300 cyclists are participating on the ride, which will be using highways and several county roads. They are warning drivers to be prepared to share the road with cyclists and give at least 3 feet of space when passing. There are no planned highway closures for the event. The first stretch from Crested Butte to Buena Vista starts tomorrow morning at 7:30.